why did you decide to say, I am leaving UK, I'm going back home?
Gosh, it wasn't just for one reason. It was lots of reasons. You think of your age, you think, oh my goodness,
yes.
I don't want to grow old.
Yeah.
In a foreign country. You also start to understand more about your own country and just how much it has to offer as well. You know, yes, I had a good career in nursing in the UK, without a doubt, and I thoroughly enjoyed my days as a nurse. But when I started, hit 40,
yeah.
Somehow it's like there's something. It's like somebody has pushed a button. You know, suddenly going home becomes quite urgent. Yes, it's time to go home.
So you're now doing it out of passion.
Nursing was my passion.
Yeah.
You know, I loved nursing, but with farming, it was just a bold step that I took. I haven't always been passionate about farming, but my husband has always been, and it was always his dream that one day we'll go back to Africa and we'll be farmers. And I didn't know how we were even going to do it. I had no idea. Thank God, you know, I followed that dream, and I'm absolutely loving it. So if goats are not going to be consumed in Zimbabwe, you know, I'm just saying, they can always be consumed elsewhere.
When we were coming in, one of the delegates, when we were in the bus, he was actually saying, when I was young, people used to hate goats. They didn't like it. We thought it was something that is useless. But here we are in a bus. A lot of us, we are on our way, a long distance, just to go and learn goat farming.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Times have changed, attitudes have changed.
Yes.
Goats were considered the poor man's cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, you know, we have the drought, and as you know, goats are drought resilient.
Yeah, I've noticed.
That's why they
all
do
of them,
so well.
Yeah, all of them, they're doing well.
Yes,
healthy.
Yes.
When did you start?
I started farming in 2012.
2012.
Yes, but the goats I started breeding in 2019.
Wait, you started farming in 2012?
Yes.
From 2012 to 2019, what is it that you are doing?
I was doing horticulture.
You have done horticulture before?
Yes.
What was your experience, and what are the failures that you have encountered?
You mean during my horticulture days?
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed horticulture, but maybe for people watching to understand why horticulture worked for me, it's because I'd made a big mistake when I first started into farming. With broilers.
Oh, with the broilers?
With the broilers, yes. I first started with broilers. I did one cycle of broilers and I gave up. Yes.
Why did you give up?
I gave up because it was so disastrous. That's why I thought, no, I never want to see a chicken in my life ever again.
What happened? What happened?
What happened is that in 2011, I decided to come back home from the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and as it happens, you know, you ask people around you, and sometimes you don't always ask the right people for the right information. So I was probably consulting with the wrong people who encouraged me to go into broiler production. And I went into it expecting to make a lot of money. Quick money, yeah. In 6 weeks, I expected to have earned 10,000 US dollars, and that sounded like very good money. But sadly, at the end of 6 weeks, I got $58. I'll never forget it. 58 US.
58?
Yes.
58?
$58.
USD? That's a huge loss.
It was massive. Yeah.
So now you're doing goat farming.
Yes.
What are the breeds that you're focusing on?
Right now, I'm doing crossbreeding.
Okay.
So I consider myself still at the learning stage. Although I've been doing it now for 4 or 5 years. I'm still learning. I'm still experimenting with different breeds. But now I know where my leaning is. I'm liking the Kalahari Red more than the Boer goat.
Oh.
Yes. Because I breed with both of them. I crossbreed with both of them.
So if you are to compare between Kalahari Red with the Boer, which one is the best?
For me, it's the Kalahari Red.
Okay.
And it's not about the best. It's about a breed that you like. It's preference, especially between the Kalahari Red and the Boer goat. There's very little, difference. They've both got good genetics, of the fast growth rate, which is what we are all after. We want goats that grow fast. Okay. And they both offer that.
So you are doing crossbreeding. You're doing it for meat, is it?
I'm doing it primarily for meat. Crossbreeding for meat. That's the direction I want to take.
So have you ever done breeding before? Not crossbreeding, but pure breeding?
No. It's only, I've done it, but on a very, very small scale, which is why I'm saying I'm still learning. Because for me, I feel I've mastered the art of crossbreeding. Now I can start venturing into pure breeding and maybe hopefully start breeding, because remember, I've learned my lesson from the chickens.
Most of the people that are in the diaspora, when they say I am going back home, they're probably going into the rural areas, not in the cities. Why is it that you guys, when you come back, you are not even investing time in the cities? You say, I want to go to the rural areas. Why?
Okay, for a number of reasons. When we're in the diaspora, we probably live in big cities, most of us. The work is in the big cities.
Exactly.
And something also quite interesting, I was talking to my husband about this.
Yes.
In the diaspora, when you live in the village, you are well-to-do.
Really?
Yes. We all aspire to live in the village, so there's a different, I think, perception about village life overseas and village life in Zimbabwe. I think so, but village life in Zimbabwe is just as beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's go back to goat farming.
Yeah.
Is it lucrative?
Right. I would say yes, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be encouraging other people to do it.
Yes.
It's not going to happen overnight, when you embark into, especially if you're breeding, and especially if you are going to take the cross breeding route, which I'm taking. You have to be patient, and you have to curb the desire for instant gratification. You've got to wait for your rewards. That's the reality of it.
Today, there were people who came here to learn goat farming. What's the future of goat farming for you?
The future of goat farming is definitely big. For those who like to read or research, they'll see that globally the demand for goat meat is on the rise.
Really?
Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, so it's not just in Zimbabwe. Although Zimbabwe has got the ideal climate, obviously, for goat breeding, we are not really big goat consumers, but trends are changing. People are asking for goat meat. Compared to 3 years ago, I wasn't getting the inquiries as much. But now, almost on a daily basis, there's somebody wanting goats for meat. There's someone wanting goats for breeding. Yes. I'm also a member and a chairperson of the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe. And time again, we get these requests from other countries for goats. And we can never meet
the demand. So there is opportunity to export goat.
Huge. Yes, there's a huge potential.
Why are people not venturing into goat farming if there are so many opportunities like that?
People don't know about the opportunities. Yes. I think you need to be in the space or to be looking, for it. And I think it's up to us as breeders to spread the word, to spread the news, which is what I try to do by inviting people to my farm, and I offer these master classes in goat breeding, because there is no way I'm going to be successful as a goat breeder, as an individual. There's got to be more of us doing it. Otherwise, it's not a sustainable venture. Yeah.
So let's talk about the market. Was there someone who actually came to you and say, you know what, I want this number of goats, and that number shocked you?
Yes. And I get it all the time.
Really?
I had somebody calling me from Dubai, and they said, oh, I want 400 female boar goats for breeding. I want to start breeding in Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
They're actually going to take away your goats.
Yes.
What are the challenges that you've been facing so far? Doing this?
Doing the goat breeding.
Yes.
There are many challenges. Like right now with the drought, I've had to cut back on my breeding. So we are holding back on breeding this season. This would have normally been a busy breeding time for me as well. We've got kids, but it was also meant to be a breeding time. This is when we introduce the male to our females.
This time?
Yes, but we're cutting back. And of course, not just the drought, the other challenge that we face as farmers in general is accessing affordable funding to scale our businesses. So that's why I'm taking the slow route, because it's all coming out of my own pocket.
Yes.
I didn't take out a loan, because bank loans obviously are very expensive.
Exactly.
And they want their money back within a very short space of time. And investing in goat breeding is a long-term goal. We're talking 5 years before you really think, now.
Okay, so is it capital intensive when I'm starting goat farming?
Yes, it is. Especially, say for example, my ideal situation, my ideal retirement fund would require me to have 1,000 breeding females. Now, for me to go out and buy 1,000 breeding females will require a lot of
money.
A lot of money. So that's why I've been doing it slowly. I buy 30 here, 20 there, and of course my own. I still buy. Yes, I still buy goats.
Really?
Yes, but this year I'm not going to buy, because obviously the drought. I'm actually selling.
I've been told that goat farming is one of the attractive investments that small-scale farmers can venture into.
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. It just depends on how big you want to go. But if it's small scale, say for example, you have 10 goats to start with, 10 females.
I can start with 10 females.
You can start with 10 females.
It's okay.
And maintain it at 10 females.
Thank you.
And that will give you income. And more so if you go for a breed that produces more milk, which is what I've discovered as well. I didn't always know this, but if you have a breed that produces more milk, it's even better, because you then don't have to go out and buy supplement for your kids. Your kids will be well fed. Your goat kids as well as your human kids will be well fed.
So let's talk about the value addition when it comes to goat.
From the milk, obviously, the cheese, goat's cheese is very popular. Even goat's milk itself is very, very popular. And for people who can't tolerate cow's milk, they can often take goat's milk.
Oh, what about the skin?
The skins as well, yes, absolutely. I was talking to someone in the leather industry, and they were saying that actually they prefer goat skins for leather jackets, because there's less wastage and they're just the right texture, the right size.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and this is someone who exports leather jackets, yes. And the sad thing,
that's a business on its own.
That's a business on its own. And sadly, there's a lot of wastage of goat skins
in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, we need to preserve our goat skins, because we're just throwing away good money.
Okay, what's your advice to someone who would want to start farming?
My advice to someone who wants to start farming is they must find the information, the knowledge from the right people who've done farming and succeeded in farming, not friends and relatives who also wish to be farmers, which is what I did when I ventured into the broiler.
I will remember your story.
Yes.